We have something of a guest transportation problem here in Global Ventures. Thousands of guests all pouring to the back of the park has resulted in a rather congested path system. Thankfully though, I have a three-pronged solution to this problem. We've got the trains, we've got the gondolas, and we've got some boats hiding in the background somewhere. Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to Global Ventures version 1 here on PlanCo. I'm going to say version 1 quite a few times throughout this series because this is just the beginning. As PlanCo 2 ever nears, we're going to be talking about not just this park, but how Global Ventures is going to transfer over to PlanCo 2 when it eventually drops in, I think, a couple of months. I think they've said autumn is when it's due, or fall if you're across the Atlantic. So there's potential for it to be in the next 2 to 3 months, which is very, very exciting. So I'm looking here at the train, the Somerset Railroad. I think that needs to be renamed something else because obviously Somerset Hills is the name of the overall resort, and Global Ventures is just part of that. So that needs to be renamed. We'll do that at some point today as well. Last time out, we built this area here, which was the beginnings of the Heart of the Forest area, or at least the beginnings that aren't already built. Obviously, we've got 2 roller coasters, if you can count this boat ride here as a roller coaster, plus the railway through here. But it was looking a little bit empty and a bit lacking. So we added this, which was Ye Old Carousel, or the Old Carousel. Apparently, YE is pronounced the. Also added this little walkway, which I think I might have done off camera actually after I finished recording. I can't actually remember. But that allows people to get to and from the upper and lower level depending on where they are. It also means, say you come off the water ride here and you want to go get a bite to eat at the Robin Hood, you can just take a shortcut through here instead of having to go all the way down here and around, which I think was quite neat. This area will get more work done. Oh, that me flying through that building is actually part of today's video, believe it or not. I can't remember what I was saying now as well. That's good, isn't it? Oh yeah, this area will get some more buildings and stuff added, some more rides. I do have a list somewhere of all the rides that are meant to go in this area. I think there was a chair-a-plane and actually another roller coaster, which isn't going to be in this version of Heart of the Forest, but may make it into version 2.0. But today, as the title suggests, we're completing the park transport. So we've got the station here, which is basically complete. It's running. It works. The queue line here is a little bit steep. There's not a huge amount I can or am willing to do about that right now. Although the more I look at it, the more I hate it. So that might be something that gets revisited at some point. This station, though, is pretty much functional, complete. It's not the prettiest, but it works, and that's the main thing. And then it's got nice views down into the town. You can imagine if, oh god, that's laggy. If this bit here gets left as a gardens and then there's another building here, from the train you'll be able to see down to the carousel and beyond. Now obviously there's a sightline issue because if you look down this way, you can see this building and then you can see this in the background, which is Shinkansen, which you're not supposed to be able to see. So that needs to be dealt with. Again, that might not be a today job, that might be a future job, but this is part of the project for today, the sky ride, the gondola. As you can see, it's basically the main way of getting from the front of the park, which is all the way over there, you can see the station, to the back. Now, first thing I'm going to do is this. We're going to rebuild it from scratch. We are also, and this is going to be slightly controversial, first of all, I need to blueprint this, which I'm going to do like so. Just in case things do go wrong, I would like to be able to get this back. So we're going to call this, actually I've forgotten what the name of the ride is. We're just going to call this the Tower for now, because I genuinely can't remember the name of the ride. Tower for the ride. That's what we do. Tags, yeah, it's got all that stuff in it, I suppose. Create blueprint. Alrighty. Now that's done, we're going to remove it. We're also going to remove this, which I'm not even going to blueprint that. That's fine. And then we're going to remove this. And then all this stuff as well, which I think, for the most part, we can multi-select, which is this. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And that. There we go. So this ride, I can't promise it's going to return at any point during this project, but it needed to be out of the way. Let's put it that way. And now I need to go through and remove all of these paths, which is a bit of a pain. But again, it's not part of this project right now. The project today is getting the gondola system up and running, as well as a couple of other things. I'm doing a very bad job of explaining it all, I'm sure. I need to remove all of those as well. It's also about being able to get more people around the park more effectively. That's the other part of today's project. So the Planet Zoo has this. I don't think Planet Coaster does, where people will actually use transport rides to get to certain sections of the park. So in Wild Realms, for example, I have a railway there that takes people from the front of the park, which is the African themed section, over to the Asian themed section, which is at the back of the park. And they actually use that to get to and from the different areas, which is really cool to see. Now, obviously, this is really... I guess I removed some stuff to get this set of supports in, but this is really not how I wanted it to look at all. That's really weird. In Planet Coaster, I don't think we have that luxury. Therefore, there's no point really planning too many transport rides and things. But at the same time, it does, you know, eat up the main number of people. So the first thing I want to do is build a new gondola station here. And we're not going to make it too high this time. We're going to make it a little bit lower. So I believe gondola is... Yep, there it is. Chairlift gondola. And we're going to hit X like this, and then we're going to move it into position, which is going to be like this, or spin it into position, and now we're going to lift it into position. But I've got to make sure it's facing the right way, which is actually that direction. So I need to rotate it a little bit more. Should we do this? I've got an idea to have it kind of go onto the island here and then have it turn, which means it may not actually end up... Maybe if I have it run along to here and then have it turn this way. So really I want it pointing at that tree from here, which means rotating it just a little bit more. Kind of like this, I think. Does that point towards that tree? Not quite. So we're going to have it go, I think, like this. And then we're going to lift it into position, which is going to be like so. I think this is a good height, maybe. Down a smidge. I want it to be so that the entrance is underneath in the building, and then the queue will slalom back and forth, and then eventually will climb up to where it needs to be. But at the same time, the exit will be on this side, and there'll be a staircase that comes down to connect up to this pathway. I also want to reserve a path here for a footpath that's actually going to run alongside the railway here and across a bridge, and that will take you into that area, even though that area currently doesn't exist. So I think this is what we want. Do we want the drive wheel? I guess we can have the drive wheel here. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Like that, and then we go this way. So here, I think we want a small section. The smallest section possible, like so. And then we want to go big. We want it to be the longest it can be. Like that. And then we want it to come up at an angle of, let's say, 20 degrees. As close as we can get to 20 degrees. Which I guess is that. There we go. Now, how high do we want this? We don't want it stupidly high, do we? We're not trying to break height records or anything. I like the fact as well that just about gets across there. This waterway here is actually going to be widened. It's going to be turned into a basin for reasons that will become clear as well. Because I'd like to get the boats up and running today as well, if possible. That would be cool too. So I think this is as high as we're going to go here. So now we're going to level it off. Got to make sure, yeah, that's 0. And then we're going to build it straight across like this. And then when we get to this section, we're going to turn. And I've got to remember how to turn. Oh, have I done this wrong? No. Dual turning track. There we go. So now I want this to be sort of this length. And I want it to turn to face in that direction there. I think that's about right. And I kind of want the gondola to maybe come under the track here and have the station where the tower used to be, but then have the tower be behind it, if that makes sense. So have the gondola station be part of the tower construction. I think that's what I want. I'm not 100% certain on that, and I don't want to sort of... Basically, I don't want to get it wrong, because I do that a lot. I build something, and then later on I'm like, no, I don't like that. I want to redo it. The other option, of course, is we have the gondola pass just over the track here and still have the station underneath. But I kind of like the idea of having it all be part of the same complex. So I think that angle there is where we want that. So you're still at 0. We're going to max this out again then. Like this. I'm going to go like that. And like that, and then here it's going to come down at 20 degrees again. Maybe slightly less, like 19.92 is a pretty good number. Like this. And then here you're going to level off, and you're going to go for the shortest distance. Now I'm checking, that does pass underneath the track here. With clearance as well, so we could in theory have gone one more, and the fact that it passes just over the fort here, which I kind of like. I think this is a good setup. I think this is a good build. So then we'll have that, and then it'll go into the station again. Now here's a question: which way round do I want this facing? We want opposites, right? So we want exit on the left, entry on the right. And then we want this. Okay, and then over this side, we want exit on the left, which I'm assuming is this way round. Entry right, exit left. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay. Now, if I was to change the speed of this, I think you get more vehicles the slower it goes. That seems like quite a lot of vehicles. So if we now put that in test mode, and we'll start building stations. So of course this side is this one. Of course it would be. Why would it not be the other one? So we're going to build the entrance at this end. Like so. In fact, we want it there. And then the exit, I think we'll place maybe this end. I think that is the best way to do this. And again, we'll probably have a slaloming path underneath. Now, I'm just looking to see... What's the name of the drop tower? It's the Horror Heights. That should fit nicely still in this plot of land. I'm hoping. The alternative is we do this, of course. And then we sink it down slightly, which was always going to be part of the plan. So if I was to do this, like this, and then I was going to sink it down underground, so it's more like this. Although up a little bit. Yeah, like this. And then actually have the gondola go through the ride structure. That was part of my plan for this as well. So I think that... Where's the cabin that it goes in? Oh, it's there. So yeah, I think this would be more in line with what I would do here. So we need to build a building that encompasses all of this, basically. And you can see here how the queue line there would go. Even if we had it zigzag underneath this at a slightly higher than ground level, it would still fit. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is this section here. If it was to slope down and then slalom, and then obviously it would come out this side and go over to the pathway probably here. And then for this ride, the Horror Heights, the entrance would be closer. Actually, it might make more sense to do it the other way around. Have the gondola come out this side, and then have the Horror Heights come out this side. I think that's a better way of doing it. Now, I'm not going to build that right now. Or am I, actually? Probably will end up doing it at some point. But yeah, you should be able to see the doors here. What's concerning is they open on that side, and I thought they were supposed to open on this side as well, but they're not. Which is interesting, but we'll come back to that. Come over to this side then, and we'll build the entrance again. So the entrance on this side is going to be a lot easier. Ah, see, I've done this one wrong. How do I cancel this? Select ride, edit track. This one, I need it to be this way. There we go. And then this station, place entrance. So yeah, you need to go on this side. And again, you can see the doors are open there. This one, I think we'll have you... I was going to say here as well, in fact. And then the exit needs to be... Wow, is that actually offering a connection? That's insane. That's really tempting to build, mind. But it's not at all feasible with what I had in mind. So I'm going to have to try and squeeze it there. There we go. Now we need to sort of build the queues and stuff. And then we can start looking at the rest. So yeah, what's the... Okay, so the doors open here. And you can see they're still open. But it's like they glitch slightly. Ah, they close as they pass that thing. But we need them open again on this side for the entrance. Have people noticed this before? Is this just me? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to put a slight cut in here now while I build the queues and stuff like that. When I come back, you may also see this side looking a little bit different. So, you know, no guarantees it will remain exactly like this or anything like that, but we'll see. Back in a mo. Okay, first update. As this train here just departs from the station here, again, I can't remember what the name of this area is, which isn't very good. But as the train leaves here, I am going to turn this way and show you this. So this is the welcome station. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a queue underneath, nothing too fancy. And then it comes outside here, and there will be a little porch of some kind, and then it will go up and up into the actual loading area itself. And you saw the exit path here. It just comes down these stairs and then around like so. Eventually, there will be some form of bridge or bridges that take you into this part of the park here, and then this is going to be another big plaza area. And then from there, it spans off into different themed zones. That's the plan. And then for the boat here, the boat, I think, is going to sit in a basin over here. This will get dug out. And from the plaza here, you'll be able to board the boat. And then this path will go around the other edge of the basin. And there may be another bridge that connects the two. We'll see. This was the easy end. This is actually the end I did second. Eventually, once the building comes in and things like that, there'll be an arch across the pathway here, and for the most part the walls here would be dead straight, so I might have to come through and rebuild the path here after, just to make sure that it is all fitting and correct and things like that. And then this bridge here, not a huge fan of having to build the slope the way I have there, but it was the only real way to do it. And I'm really not a fan of this side either, but again, couldn't really do much here. And then this will become a rail bridge here, because we're also working on the railway today, as well as the boats and as well as the gondolas. So this is, as I said, the easy end. Let's have a look at the hard end. If we follow the gondola along, we come to this monstrosity. Now, I built the first tower here, and I thought, yep, this is good. This is what I had in mind. And then I remembered Oh yeah, I actually wanted to build 2 of these towers because capacity. If you look, I believe these are... You're about to hear some music, so bear with. I believe these are 3s. You sit in 3s. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 18 people per vehicle, which is quite few considering. I think the ride takes like 2 minutes. So it's 18 per 2 minutes, which means... What's 18 times 30? That's a very good question. That's the weather mark, not your calculator. 18 times 30, 540 per hour, which isn't very high at all. So I've got 2 of them with a capacity now of 1,080. Everything's built. The queues are all connected. Everything works. You've got the peeps here at the entrance. I thought having a little plaza here would be a good place for it. There may even be scope in the future for a footpath here through to the forest area as well, which means this one might end up actually moving over to here, and then this could be a big futuristic building as well. I'm still debating what to do with this, by the way. I feel like demolishing it completely is top of the cards right now, but we'll see. It's mainly because the actual queue line for it down here, if I can get in, is pretty well themed, if I do say so myself. You've got this sort of Star Tours looking thing that you walk through, and then the actual loading area as well. Was there ground I just saw through there? No. The actual loading area. So again, look, all this, all this, all this, and then the loading area is in here, and it all looks really, really cool. So I think the solution, I probably don't demolish it, but downsize it significantly. Maybe take out the top floor and just have it go around a bottom floor with a couple of elevation changes, that sort of thing. And then maybe we'll just bury it under a mound or something for the true dark ride effect. But we'll have a facade on the front here, and then it means all this stuff isn't actually hovering. It does mean the railway won't run through the show building anymore, but I think that's the lesser of all evils, to be honest. And I still need to go into scenario mode and remove these trees because they're in the way. But yeah, this monstrosity. So we've got Tower A and Tower B. I don't know anything about how we're going to theme them yet. Right now, they both run the same sequence. I think that's probably going to stay the same as well. The exit path here rises up between the two. So you can see the exits are here and here. I'm toying with the idea of building a gift shop on this level. I built this little area here just as a proof of concept. Maybe just for photographs, things like that. And then the gondola exit weaves its way down and connects up here as well. So I was thinking maybe building some form of gift shop here. Have that act as the on-ride photo. And yeah, just leave it as that. The queues here are all connected as well. So the gondola queue is here. Although having a look at it, I might actually shorten it. And take out this whole section. And we can have this as a little gardens or something. And again, this path here will eventually extend over into the forest area. So it makes sense to leave it smaller. So that the path here can just go straight through. This has also got its own little sort of plaza-y area. I don't actually know if you can connect these. I doubt it quite a lot. I saw something just there though. Yeah, that's not happening, is it? So we're going to ignore that. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Once we've put the roof and stuff on this, there'll be a little... It won't be a roof as such. There'll be a porch on this again. The other thing we've got to do, I've tried doing the terraforming and the landscaping. It didn't really work. But what we're going to do is bury this ride completely. And we're going to put buildings in where they're not needed and things like that. But that's a job for future M4J to worry about. But it's just a very quick update as to how things are going. I am now going to hop back over here. I'm going to build the building for this end of the gondola here. And I'm also going to dig out this basin, put the new boat station in the basin, and then build this new plaza over here as well. So next time you see me, hopefully all of that will be complete. Okay, what feels like an eternity later, and it technically is. It's actually a few days now since I recorded the last section, but I'm back here in the park. I've been working away like a beaver for the last few days. Nothing's changed here. This is end of episode, if not next episode project, this one now. Few other things have changed though. One thing I have done, so first of all, I lowered the height of the gondola. It was way too high, and it was stupidly high. Like, they came down with snow on. It was that high. But besides that, that's just an aesthetic thing, really. It doesn't really change the performance of the ride. Over here at Crazy Taxi, I increased the capacity slightly. Added an extra car. It's not doing it now, which is annoying. Has the ride broken down? No. But the queue was massive, and I was getting notifications saying the queue was massive. So I know it must have just opened from a breakdown, and that's why the queue's just filling up again. So I added an extra car to the ride here. Messed around with the timing a little bit, and I think that one down there should move before this one reaches the brake. It's not going to, so it must have just reopened from a breakdown, and it's just cycling back through again. Something else I did was over here at Fortress Raiders. Basically did the same thing. Added an extra 2 trains to this one, I think. So there's 7 trains operating on this now. And this is so satisfying. If you watch, this train here comes round, enters the brake. This section here now has been replaced by a block brake, so that's now cleared. So the next train can crest the hill. It waits outside the station just for a second, but that makes sure there's always a train in the station being loaded up. And there you go. The next one's just cresting the hill now. The way I achieved this, I again edited the timings in the station, but you'll see, hopefully, there's a train there, and there's one here. And I think the third one is about to pop in. Yeah, there it is. So I've managed to install more block brakes so that there are 3 trains operating in the dark ride section at all times. And then there's always one coming up the lift hill. In fact, I think, yep, it's just about to there. Just as that one clears the brakes. So there's still a little bit of leeway in case the train does have to wait outside the station. But you can see I've got 26-second minimum departure, 25 seconds here, 50 seconds here. Pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. And this is important, getting Crazy Taxi and Fortress Raiders up and running at full capacity, because they just happen to be the first major rides after the transport rides. So the gondola obviously drops off here, and you come out pretty much opposite Crazy Taxi, but you do have to walk to the other end to actually get on it. The 2 Horror Heights rides, by the way, I don't think they have any riders because there's no theming. So everyone says it's too expensive, so I might have to look at that. This here, though, is the relocated station, or the landing, the dock, for the Vibes of the Islands, end of the boats here. I will add theming to this. Again, that's a future episode project, I think. The main idea right now is just to get these rides open and get people on board. So that's this end of the ride. If I come this way, you will see this end of the ride, which has been themed. It needs more still. I need to put some stuff in here, but I've put some barrels and things like that in here just to theme it. It's all got a nice wooden floor, which I'm very happy with. It's got the actual bit here that goes up to the land, which I'm also quite happy with. That's pretty decent slope for accessibility. And then over here, it's got this extra little building, and this here is a bridge that goes across the gap so people can get to and from this building if necessary. In the background here, you can see the Pont du Monde. Terrible pronunciation. Pont du Monde, which means Bridge of the World. It is based on the Pont Neuf in Paris. I need to add some details to it still, like shields on the buttresses. Are these buttresses? I don't actually know. But yeah, the track is now going through these arches quite nicely. They do fit. I have checked. We've got a boat coming here, so I will just have a little check of that. Yep, fits through there nicely. Fits through there nicely. Excellent stuff. So yeah, this is the main plaza area that I was talking about that goes into this little mini plaza. And then you can see, I mean, we have 8,000 people in the park right now, and the performance, apart from the autosave, which you just saw there, the performance is really good. I'm very happy with that. So excellent job. The new PC is definitely earning its keep right now. So yeah, that's the boat landing. That's all good, but we've got one more thing, 2 more things technically to show you. I have rebuilt the entire front plaza of the park. I've built some more facades. I've constructed the station for the gondola at the Parisian end, and I've also rebuilt the railway station at the Parisian end, and it now looks like this. Look at this. So this is based on the Main Street USA station at Disneyland Paris, where I was very fortunate enough to go earlier this year. It's not entirely similar. For example, at Disneyland Paris, you walk underneath the main part of the building as well as either side. And even then, I think it's not quite as offset as this. So I've taken some artistic license. You can see I moved the Bienvenue sign to the front here because it was originally on this wall at the back here. Moved the windows, moved the planter, added some growing plants as well. This has basically stayed where it was. I think it said promenade before, but it now says boulevard because I've decided to call this area Boulevard of the Parisians. No mention of a welcome at all. Or maybe bienvenue of the Parisians if you want to be that way inclined. I don't know. But yeah, we've got this lovely planter at the front, which I still need to fill in more. I think I might just put grass in these areas to make it look a little bit nicer. We got the roof, we got the, I don't know what you call this, architrave, I guess, or veranda, not veranda. It's another word beginning with V, that I always forget the name of, it doesn't matter. And then over here, we have the gondola station, which I absolutely adore as well. It needs more detailing added to it. I wouldn't say it looks very Parisian, to be honest, but it does a job. So over here, we've got the turning wheel and everything. Fits perfectly. You can see there the supporting structure just about fits inside this wall. This area here, by the way, is empty. There's a temptation to build something in there, but I don't really know what. Maybe just some vending machines or something along the wall. I don't know. And then we got this raised section, which again, it does nothing. It's just lifting equipment or something maybe for the motors here if something was to go wrong. And then yeah, we've got the queue on underneath it here, which I'm trying to go inside. Let me go inside. There we go. Again, I need to put something here. There'll be a plinth of some sort with some kind of theming element. It doesn't matter too much because you are just queuing to get on a gondola. Out here, I was tempted to put this section here under a roof, so that might still happen. And then we got this walkway here that goes up and then you go in. As always, everything's a ramp, not stairs, apart from the exit here, but that's fine because that's just a quick way out. See, again, you walk across, you go down. I do actually have some walls across here as well, just to make it look a little bit nicer. But underneath, you can see quite clearly it's still a pathway, but that's fine as well. And then for the final bit of this, over here, this is the new entry plaza, which again, I'm very happy with. I'm more happy with this side, obviously, because there's more stuff here. I will build something over here eventually. I don't really know what. It'll be a building of some kind. Because I think there may actually end up being something over in this section, but I don't really know what either. I'm that way inclined right now, where everything is I don't really know right now, but come back to me and there might be something. So the temptation is to build a coaster or of some description. The more I look at this, though, is this outside park boundary? Can't be. It just seems to be a line across there. And then, yeah, we have this walkway here that goes down a very, very busy walkway. That's one reason why I want to get the boat and the gondola open, which will happen momentarily. And then I was experimenting with this. These are the pebbles that everyone's raving about on the workshop. Very nice pebbles, I must say. And I thought, I wonder what it would look like as ballast. So I put it down here, and it actually works really, really well. Fits together really nicely. I wish it had a bit more of a curve away at the end. You could make that manually, I suppose, and then just copy and paste it. But I think this is pretty decent. And then I just went along here with some rocks just to separate it. Might put some plants in the gaps, we'll see. But I think this is a pretty decent way to hide the railway here and the berm. And then I will be doing the same thing over here. You can see I've already done the landscaping. I just need to do the rest. There is a chance anyway over here that the railway will be redirected slightly. So I don't want to do anything until I know where it's going to run. Over here though, at Heart of the Forest, I could go and do some ballasting. This section here, for example, this bridge I need to build still. There's a lot still needs doing. And then, yeah, in terms of the facade, so something else I've done over here. Oh, yeah, one other thing. There's now a hotel in the hotel. So this is La Parisienne. Oh, more rooms have been taken. It took forever for the rooms to start being claimed. Now we've got 19 out of 47 standard rooms and 1 out of 24 luxury rooms. You do actually need a priority pass for the luxury rooms. Might reverse that decision. But all the rooms are in here, in this block, you can see. So we've got the luxury ones are on the top floor, and then the standard ones are the 2 floors beneath. Quite happy. Tempted to do the same thing on this side, but might not. Might just leave it. This side might just be a restaurant or something. I don't know yet. Even though the hotel has a restaurant inside it, it also has a spa and a gym and things like that. So you could just pretend that it is all spread out across all of this. And then this little bit down here was annoying me. I needed a facade here, so I built a facade here. I'm very happy with the facade here. So we've got, it's basically an extension of this building. I just copied and pasted some elements across. Oh, and one other thing. This is now guest services. I think it was anyway, but I added an extra one and then put these little fences in. I might put the barriers in underneath just to stop people from walking through them, but I don't want to mess things up too much. I'm surprised these aren't busier right now, actually. But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I think we're ready to open these transport rides. I wanted to do it on camera. I actually wanted to do it once both stations were up and running, but I really can't be bothered to wait that long now, because as you can see, the railway, is there a queue? The queue does get quite big. Yes, there is a queue. I had to redo the queue line through here as well, so I think I've made it look better now than it did before, especially going up the stairs here. It looks a lot nicer. I scrapped the idea of doing a priority pass queue for this. I just thought there's no point. I don't think either I don't think either of the other stations currently in operation have them, so I just figured there's no point. We might as well just let anyone get on whenever they want. If you could add priority queues to other sides, like if I could put one here with a little ramp going down, then I would do that. But maybe Planet Coaster 2 will let us split priority queues and not actually have to have them connect up to the queue. So I think I could do it here, and it could go that way and then along. But then when it gets to the stairs, it started getting a bit confusing with the whole grid system, so I just left it. Let's open the gondola. That'll be a big defining moment in the park. It's got 49 gondolas. It operates at a speed of I think it's 3 miles an hour. Doesn't actually say anywhere. No. Oh well. But that's now open, so we should start to see an influx of people heading over there at some stage, maybe. Anybody? No, you're heading to Bandito. Yeah, the quickest way to get to Bandito is actually via the train. And I have noticed now, it does say heading to X via Somerset Railroad. It was, but now it's called the Global Express. You might have also noticed these are the global gondolas and the boats, which I'm about to open here. The Global Voyage. That's now open too. So we can now get to the island nice and quick, and we can also get to City of the Future nice and quick. Excellent. I'm happy. I'm really happy with how this is starting to look. I feel like I'm warming up now ahead of Planet Coaster 2's release. The fact that my plan is to format the new series kind of like this one, where I introduce the concept, go away for a bit, do some building, come back, show what I've done, go away, do some building, that sort of thing. I'm really tempted to add another planter in here somewhere. But I like this huge open area. I think it does look really cool. I also rebuilt the entrance here to Around the World in 80 Days. So that's now a thing. I'm still really tempted to scrap this ride and start again. But I just don't have the patience to do that right now. Mainly because the boats, you can only have 10 boats on this ride. And if you look how far the queue goes right the way back to this room here pretty much. There is always a massive queue. And there's such a huge gap between boats. I don't even know where the next boat is right now. There. So I just need to increase capacity. Maybe there's a way you can do it with mods or something where you can add unlimited vehicles to a ride. We'll see. Might have a look at that. Might be the first mod I use. But yeah, rides are open. Is anybody queuing for this right now? No. Should I be worried? Possibly. I can't remember where you see guest opinions. Oh, I should probably name these stations as well, right? So you are Boulevard of the Parisians station. Yep. And this one is City of the Future station. There we are. Kotfa. Lovely. In terms of finances, I'm tempted to make the gondola free just to get more people on it. Maybe. I do need to do a lot of work here as well. I'm actually going to build a quayside that goes all the way along here. And then possibly around this way as well. And then have all of this be water. We'll see. And then have that quayside continue around this way. And then stop here where it goes into the Egyptian theme. Overall, though, I'm pretty happy with how all of this looks. There is going to be something that goes here as well. It might just be a gift shop or something. Maybe a cafe. I haven't 100% decided on that yet, but something will go here. And I just love looking at this. Ignore the big ugly white building in the background, but just this view here is awesome. And just seeing the hordes of people coming through into the park as well. It's so freaking cool, man. It's so freaking cool. One other thing that I'm quite proud of myself for doing are these little planters, because this isn't normally something I do. Just leave these big gaps. But I've actually tried to go through and fill some of them up this time, and I think it looks pretty nice as well. Particularly this section here. I need to maybe do some theming here. Oh, we have our first people. That's exciting. Do we have anyone queuing at the other end? There's a question. No, unless they're already on board. But I figured this would be a one-way trip for most people right now. So that's fine. What about the boats? Do we have anyone at the boats? Anyway, to check. If I do this and then do this. Yeah, not yet. But it could be happening. It could be happening. One of the things, and the next episode is going to be on the island here. Trying to get this a little bit better. Because one thing I've noticed is no one, literally no one, has ever been on this ride. No lifetime guests, no monthly guests. The scenery rating is atrocious. So we need to do something about that. We need to add some theming to this, some shipwreck stuff, all that sort of thing. And then we've also got these two pads. One here, one here. Now I want to have a restaurant on the island here. So that could well go on this side maybe. But then you can have a nice flat ride on this side. Or maybe the restaurant could go in this. No, I don't want to squeeze it in. I want to fit it in nicely. So I think the restaurant would go here. And it would theme with this as well. Maybe even having the ride go through that. I don't know. Maybe not a restaurant. Maybe just an eatery where you can grab some stuff and sit down. Something like that. And then you can still fit a small flat ride here. And this is the kiddie area. So it's all family rides and things like that. So, you know, small, slow spinning flat rides. The coaster itself is actually a little on the extreme side for a family coaster, considering like this drop height is quite big. One other thing I did when I was doing the capacity, you may have noticed it. This lift hill is slightly different to how it used to be, and the drop height here is slightly lower. When I added the block brake here, people were snapping their necks, coming in and stopping at the speed they were. You might see it here. So I've got it set now so it doesn't slow down as quickly, but obviously when it has to stop, it slows down quite quickly. So I lowered the speed by lowering the height of this. I think it works quite well. And again, the timing is beautiful. Just as this one crests the hill here, this one emerges from the block brake under the tunnel there. It's really cool. I like it a lot. One last check then to see if the gondolas are succeeding. We definitely had people queuing. Yeah, there they are. So they'll be heading off towards City of the Future. I have no idea how the doors work here, by the way, if they do open on both sides or not. It appears they do, actually, which is nice. That door there is definitely open, and this door here is definitely open. So, yes, maybe it's just during testing it doesn't do that. So that's cool. I'm fine with that. And yeah, we are getting people queuing now. It's a good alternative. If you want to get to the more extreme areas of the park, like City of the Future, the best way to do it is via the gondola. If you want to get to the more themed areas of the park, like Heart of the Forest and Legend of the Frontier, then the train's the best way to do it. And if you've got the kids screaming at you that they want to go on the spinny rides, then the boat's the best way to do it. Although I need to change the timing of this by the looks of things. How do I... There we go. That might be an off-camera job, but still. Operations. I thought 30 seconds would be quite a good time, but I guess not. Maybe we'll set this to like 120 just for now. Minimum departure interval of, let's say 45. We won't block the station. That might be another issue as well, is the way the station's blocks working. Might not. Oh, this one doesn't have anything set up, so that might be an explainer as well. So let's do 45, 120. Might say don't block station here as well. This probably was all set up, and then I changed the location of it and messed things up. It needs a lot more theming done to it at this end, of course. But, yeah. I think I'm ready to wrap this episode up. I talked for way longer than I wanted to. So, as I said, next time we're going to be focusing on the island here. Vibes of the Bahamas. Not Vibes of the Bahamas, sorry. Vibes of the Islands. It was originally a Bahamian theme. That's not right at all, that word. It was originally themed to the Bahamas, but now it's just the islands in general, the Caribbean sort of area. Obviously, something of the Caribbean was always off the cards because Disney kind of beat me to the punch on that one. But just adding some theming here, getting this coaster, in this section at least, a little more exciting looking. I love the idea of having the track go around the outside of the island here. That was always the plan. But actually adding some things here for it to interact with. So, as I said, flat rides, restaurants, buildings, gift shops, whatever it might be. And right now, apart from the boat, there's only one way on and off the island. So this bridge here, I think, is going to be... I want to say moved, but I don't think that's going to work. But I wouldn't mind having a bridge from this side as well. Maybe here. And then it comes under the brakes there and then skirts around the edge. Maybe that. And then the cafe would go next to it, and then there might still be room for a small flat ride. Because there are the rides that do fit in these gaps, I have checked. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to have one last look at the queues over here. I think the boat is going to be a tricky one to get going right now. Purely because no one goes to the island. The gondolas, I hope, do pick up a little bit more. There are people on board at least, so we have got that. Again, I don't know if there's a way to see... Yeah, lifetime guests. We've had 22 people on board. The railroad is always going to be the people eater. The gondola is sort of the next best thing. But we'll see. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're enjoying this new little mini-series, just to tide things over until Planet Coaster 2 comes along. If you did enjoy the video... I've already said hit the like button, haven't I? Yeah, drop some comments down below. That's the next thing. Let me know what you think. Any ideas? Any little tips and tricks as well? Things like how to get an island theme, straw huts and that sort of thing, and tiki bars and anything else that's kind of vaguely related. Kind of getting that Caribbean theme without going too far into Pirates of the Caribbean. That'd be very much appreciated. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you for your continued support. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and until next time, I will see you soon.